So you join me in a tricky bit. I wound the head down as far as it will go, the slide on the column down as far as it will go, right to the bottom. I put the head unit on top of the bed, balanced on various bits of wood that worked out quite nicely just to balance it so it's not doing any damage, and it's sitting on the end of the quill. What I'm going to do now, obviously it's tricky, but I've wound the table over until I'm in line this way, in fact a little bit more, about there, and now I can wind the table in and locate the 3 bolts in the holes as I go. So you'll have to excuse me if I turn the camera off at this point, but it's a bit tricky. It's fairly solid there, you know, it's not precarious, but I wouldn't want to go banging it. So I'm just going to get the 3 bolts lined up in the holes. So with a bit of jiggery and pokery, I managed to get the 3 bolts to line up in the holes. I had to move the head up just a touch to get it to line up, and then basically slid the head back onto its register, so it's now there. I just put a nut washer and spring washer on the lower bolt. It's a bit tricky to get in there, it's up inside the casting, but I've just got one of those connected, so basically the head can't go anywhere, although it can rotate, so I'm just going to be careful. I think at this point I'm going to wind the head back up, just holding on to it. Yeah, it's just held on with the 1 bolt, and obviously it's sat on the register. So just going to wind it up some way, just checking I don't do anything out of order here. What's going on with this malarkey here? Okay, I haven't put that on properly yet. I'm just going to get another block of wood for safety. Just bring it down onto there. There we are. Okay, now I can get access to the bolts underneath and do the other 2 bolts up. Having a bit of a hailstone issue. Yeah, see if I can bring you round. Yes, not very pleasant out there. So the machine is assembled now, all put together. I haven't trammed it all in yet, but that's, you know, that's for another episode probably. Slight problem. You can see I've got quite a bit of headroom left before I hit the ceiling with the head right up. And I think it's got another 65mm to go up, so I've got plenty of clearance to wind the head up. But my light is in the way, so yeah, I'll just have to move the light. As you can see, the other lights in the workshop here are going sort of, well, left to right as you look at it now. And this one is the one I had going long ways. And if I spin round, you can see there's another one above my head there. And that one's going left to right as well. So yeah, I can't see any reason why I shouldn't have a toy with this light and put this one going left to right. Well, the mill's in place. I haven't bolted it down yet. I've moved the light above. It's out of shot now, and the head does go right up to full extent, and about 20-25mm to spare before it hits the roof of the shed. So I think I found the right spot for it. Yeah, let me just bring you across. Yeah, okay. You can see it's nearly on the end of the bench there with my door there. When the table is fully this way, it cuts across the doorway a bit, this way, cuts across the doorway, probably 1/3 of the doorway, but that's fine because that's dead space anyway, that's purely access in and out. And that way, when it's fully this way, it doesn't take up so much of the bench space going on in that direction. So yeah, I'm happy with where it is. I pushed it back. Let me just show you the front hand wheel. I got to play with the lighting a little bit for milling shots, I can see. I've just tried it with the flag in the window, with the flag out of the window, but it seems right. Yeah, I mean, I can wind the table. I'm not interfering with my hand wheel on the bench. I can just get my fingers underneath for sort of fine adjustments. So I'm quite happy with how far back it is. The further back it is, of course, gives me more room above because of the slope of the shed getting higher towards the back of the mill. So yeah, I think that's pretty much the spot. I'm going to have a play about first before I decide that is the final spot for it, and then I'll drill and bolt it down with probably 4 coach bolts onto the bench. I've just popped the level on the bed. Yeah, it's good in both directions. I know the bench top is level because I put it in that way, and the machine, when it's sat on it, does sit level. So yeah, I haven't plugged it in yet, so I've been resisting the urge to plug it in. What's it? Yeah, there's a couple of interlocks. There's an interlock on the head here, so if you open the top to access the 2 belts, I know that there's an interlock switch there, so the machine won't start if you have that guard open, which I can't now shut. Yes, I can. And there's another interlock on this guard here. Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this. They're not my favourite things, these guards. They're always in the way when you're trying to see. I prefer a magnet on the top of on the bed, or what have you, with, you know, maybe I'll utilise this plastic guard, but I prefer a magnet, something you can pull out the way altogether. So yeah, we'll see how we go with that. Right, so I will route this cord in an appropriate way, but I'll just plug the machine in. Right, let's try with a little DRO. Okay, let's just get that guard out of your way. Bring you in a bit on that. Yeah, not sure how well this is going to pick up. But yeah, if you lock the nut here, you can then use the fine feed. I haven't locked it tight enough. And yeah, it goes down. That's 1 mil, 2 mil, 3 mil, and the quill's coming down. Okay, if you undo, you can use the rapid on the quill here, which would be more drilling, that sort of idea, whereas if you were boring to a depth, you'd probably use the hand wheel. So yeah, metric or imperial on there. I'm not sure what these up and down arrows are. I'll have to look up in the handbook. That runs on a little battery. It's simply, as you can see, it's just a little linear scale that's in the front there. So that's that. Okay, let's start the spindle. I'm going to do a run-in procedure. Let me bring you back into shot. Yeah, we got a bit too much going on here. Let me bring you out. Okay. I'm going to do a little bit of a run-in. Yeah, what is it? It runs at 100 to 3000 RPM. I'm going to run it for sort of half an hour at 500, I think. Maybe do that in forward and then half an hour at 500 in reverse. Then pop it up to 1000, then 1500. That'll be the motor running at its highest speed. And then I'll probably change over into the high gears and do the same thing right up to 3000 RPM. And run it for maybe 30 minutes at each step. Just to give the, you know, the bearings a chance to settle in, that sort of thing. I'm not sure whether these are already running or not, but I don't think it would be a bad idea to do. So, right, okay, power on. Oh, interlock. Power on. Yes. Oh, and it's running 79. That's minimum speed there. It says 100 to 1500. So, yeah, 79 showing on the display here. Oh, it's really quiet. That's 500 RPM. I mean, it doesn't make any noise at all. It's so smooth. I'm just going to pop to 1000. 1100 there. Really quiet. As I said, I don't want to. I'll just run it. Yeah, 1489 flat out. That'll probably get better with time. I'm just going to drop back to 500. Okay, that's running about a third speed on the motor. So I'm going to run it like that and probably just let it run for half an hour or so. Maybe then do the same thing in reverse. And yeah, I'll go through the procedures at sort of a third, 2/3 and full speed in high and low gear, forward and reverse. You know, just let it do its thing. So while that's doing its running in, as it were, a few new arrivals to the workshop. Set of 1, 2, 3 blocks. Yeah, they weren't expensive. the website I bought them off, I can't remember what website, I'm not sure. They did a set that were precision 1, 2, 3 blocks, and then they did a set that was called super precision. I don't know how they, you know, how they quantify either of those, other than the super precision ones. These ones had a reported accuracy of 0.0001 inches. So yeah, tenths of a thou. So yeah, we'll see. Maybe the surfaces are ground to that, but the champering needs a lot to be desired. I mean, this one's got a thin chamfer that side and a big chamfer this side, but they're not, you know, there's no burrs or anything like that. But yeah, the champering is dodgy. If you're going to go to the trouble of grinding things to 0.0001, why not set up against the backstop and, you know, equally chamfer everything? But still, one fine day, many years in the future perhaps, if I get myself a surface grinder, that's something I'll be sorting out. Anyway, that's a pair of 1, 2, 3 blocks, so they're always handy, especially now that I've got a milling machine. So, those said, another little box here. Parallels. I've pulled out a couple of sets already. 12 sets, pairs. I think they're 150mm long by 10. And obviously they're all in match pairs. And they are... these are really good quality. I think these were from Amadeel. Amadeel, yes, that's the one. Obviously they're short ones, and if I go into, say, I don't know, I forget which end is the big ones. Right, if I went to here, obviously the box is at different heights of step. So, yeah, there we are. So, yeah, as you can see, those would be the smallest, those would be the tallest, and everything in between. What are these? Let me just get a rule, and we'll have a bit of a... Where is it? I put it away. See, when you put something away, you don't know where you put it. But I always put it away in the same place. Right, these are, yeah, I mean, they're 40mm, and the shortest ones are, yeah, maybe 22mm, something like that. So 22mm, probably 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40. Yeah, they're roughly every 2mm would be my guess on it. So yeah, box of parallels. I will wrap them back in the paper. They're going to be very useful with a milling machine. So some stickers have arrived. Rustinox, Michael. Everyone knows him as Rustinox. Check out Rustinox on YouTube, guys. And at the moment he's running a bit of a collaboration thing. I think they call it that, or a challenge thing called Coat Hanger 2020. So I think it's under the hashtag Coat Hanger 2020. So anyway, guys, look up Rustinox. So over to the sticker board, and there we are. Rustinox, you're on the sticker board. And you'll also see there I've got XYZ, X600, Y200, Z300. That's just me making a... I said Z. Why did I say Z? Shall I start that again? We say Z in the UK. Anyway, for all you Americans, X, Y and Z. X is obviously the X axis on my machine, Y and ZZ. And they are the lengths of DRO scales that I'm going to need to get. So yeah, I thought if I write them down as I measure them, I'm not going to forget. So, something to come for the future, but not immediately, would be a DRO. So who spotted it earlier? It's been sort of teasing in the background. Yeah, mini lathe. I finally got hold of it. It's not going to live there, guys, and it's going to be a project going forward. Yeah, I mean, I'm intending on like changing its design and sort of setting it up purely for very small parts. More of a sort of jeweler's lathe idea. But yeah, it's a future going forward. No, it's a project for the future going forward. Yeah, a little Sealy mini lathe. Yeah, I haven't got any of the change gears, I haven't got the reverse jaws. I'll be running it on a collet chuck anyway. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much your standard pig's ear lathe, as I call them. Or what was it lately? rotary SMP. He's doing a job on one of these, polishing a turd, as he called it. Well, it's definitely a turd, but yeah, it's a project, but not something I'm going to jump on straight away, because as we all know, I've got something more important to do. That's been running for about 20 minutes now, maybe. Yeah, no, it is actually about 30 minutes, so I'm just going to pop the speed up to 1,000. In fact, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to stop it, and I'm going to run it in reverse. Just out of curiosity, with a lathe with a brushed motor, can you see the arrow there? Well, maybe just the lighting isn't very good in here for this. I'm going to have to play with my lighting a little. Yeah, it's running 514. If I stop it, put it in forward, pretty much the same. If I ran the brushed motor on the 180 lathe in reverse, it actually, at the same speed setting, it would run slower and you'd have to speed it up. So yeah, I don't have this problem, the same problem with this brushless motor. So yeah, okay, I'm supposed to be going in reverse for half an hour now. Right, okay, we'll let that run for half an hour. Well, I think that's about it for this one. You know, you saw it arrive, you saw it in bits in my shed, you saw the little things I had to do to put it back together again, just because it was apart at the time. I'm sure it would have worked straight out of the box if it didn't take it apart, but yeah, a bit more work to do yet. Levelling everything up, tramming it and all that sort of thing. First cuts will probably be, or maybe the tramming and setup will be the next video, followed by some cuts perhaps. Anyway, yeah, a few new bits and bobs. Rusty Knox sticker, as you saw, the mini lathe. I'm not going to be doing anything with that, you know, very soon, shall we say, because obviously with the new miller I've got a lot to do. I've ordered a 50mm end mill, tipped end mill, or shell end mill I think they call it. Fly cutter, I do want a fly cutter on it. I'll probably make my own now that I've got a milling machine. I did make one a bit back for the lathe, but I think now I've got the miller I'll probably make a decent one. You know, it's a lot easier to do when you've got a miller rather than using the milling slide on the lathe. Anyway, I'm waffling on again, aren't I, guys? I hope you enjoyed this one. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for subscribing, all of you, and we will see you all very soon. Cheers now.